Alright guys, this is a long playing review for Boulder Dash III on the Amstrad CPC, copyright First Star Software in 1986. Now this is the first official sequel on the Amstrad, with Boulder Dash II sadly missing in action. But this time Rockford, our hero, is in space, so the graphics have changed a little bit, but the core gameplay is the same. Now, Boulder Dash III is an incredibly rare game on the Amstrad. Indeed, I really struggle to find box art scans, with the most commonly found one I'm using here from the Australian release by Aussiesoft. They were distributors in Australia. Now, this cover art seems exclusive to this release, not being used on any other release versions of the game for other systems that I've found. Anyway, back to the European release box art from distributors American Action AB, who are a Swedish company. And it's also interesting to find the manual is in Swedish and English only too. Anyway, American Action AB only released about 9 games total in their lifespan, so obviously they probably struggled to get this into UK shops, hence why it's so rare. And I don't believe this was ever reviewed in Amstrad Action magazine, although the original was, and that got a whopping 93%. Now here's the loading screen, which is a bit so-so, it's alright. And now the title screen. And if you've seen the original Boulder Dash game on the Amstrad, this will sound and look very, very familiar. Because it's basically the same title screen, but with free added at the end there. A blank screen at the bottom there for a bit, where before it had the Microsoft logo, but this has nothing to do with Microsoft this time, so they just blanked it out. Same music. 5 levels of play you can select between, and you can choose to jump between caves 4 at a time there, but we're starting with cave A, called Intro, and according to the manual, pick the jewels and exit before the time is up. Pretty simple stuff, just like the original Boulder Dash. So yes, we're running around here, collecting jewels, avoiding boulders. When we've collected enough jewels and diamonds, then you'll hear an explosion type noise, the exit will be open, and then you've got to race to the exit before time runs out. Obviously watch out for boulders and jewels falling on your head. But the first thing I should quickly mention here, guys, is that the sound effects. Unfortunately, the sound effect for Rockford running about here, either pushing through dirt or moving through empty space, is unfortunately missing on my recording of this. And I only discovered it after I finished completing the game. And with the game being so ridiculously hard, I'm not going to go back and re-record it. So normally you'd hear this sort of kind of noise as Rockford basically skips around the level and cuts through the dirt. So I do apologise for that, guys. Oh, I've just got a bonus life there, sorry, when the background flashes away. So I do apologise for the missing sound effects, but there's nothing I can do to add it back in, so you're just going to have to stick with it. Sorry. Anyway, you can see the amount of diamonds you need to collect on the level on the top left there. It says 80 diamonds. The number next to it says 10, that's the value in point score of the diamonds, and next to it we've got 79, that's the number of diamonds you've currently collected. So one more diamond, there we go, a flash, an explosion, the exit is now open, and there we go. And obviously you saw the timer there to the right of it, and then the score on the top right. Now on to cave B, which is called Fort Knox. Destroy the mouths next to the walls surrounding the jewels, says the manual. So that's what we're going to do here. I'm going to leave these guys out there and destroy one at a time if you can, to blow through the wall there so we can get to the diamonds. And there's the second one, and now we've got sort of 2 other sections of walled off diamonds to get to and blow a hole through. So there we go. Now, the original Boulder Dash came out on the Amstrad in 1985, appearing first on the Atari 8-bit computers in 1984. I've already done a long playing review for that, so go and check that out on my channel after this one if you haven't seen it. But here I am now doing part 3. But the question is, what happened to Boulder Dash Part 2? Where is Boulder Dash II on the Amstrad? No one really knows is the answer. We can only speculate. Now, on the Specky and Commodore 64, it was known as Rockford's Riot and Rockford's Revenge, respectively. But nothing for the Amstrad. Now, those versions were released in 1985, the same year that the original Boulder Dash got converted for the Amstrad. So I'm guessing that they didn't see the point in releasing 2 Boulder Dash games in the same year for the CPC. Perhaps wanted to see what the sales were like for the first game. I can only speculate. Oh, there you go, got another bonus life there. Now, there was a Rockford game released, just simply called Rockford, which is the name of the type of the hero we're playing here. But that was a few years later from Mastertronic, which was actually a licensed arcade conversion. So Rockford itself appeared in the arcades as Rockford. And that conversion also appeared on other formats, so don't get confused with that and that Rockford 2 on the Specky and Commodore 64 had the Rockford name in the title. So yeah, basically Boulder Dash 2 is missing, and we move straight into Boulder Dash 3, which is now set in space apparently. And as such, they've tried to give it a metallic monochrome look. That they call on the back of the box Metal Graphic with a K at the end, and it has a trademark symbol next to it, so they literally trademarked that phrase, which is a bit strange. But these graphics were designed for the shades of greys and browns that the main target system, the Atari 8-bit and the Commodore 64, can both do. As for the Amstrad, as you can see, it struggles with that, and it doesn't look very good at all. In fact, it's quite an assault on the eyeballs. It's a bit too garish. The walls and the floor look way too similar, and it's not pleasant to look at. Here we are on this level, called Transform Cave C. Basically, we just activated a magic wall there. So when you drop a boulder through a magic wall, it turns into a diamond. But if a diamond drops through a magic wall, it will turn into a boulder. So be very, very careful, which is why I'm working from the bottom here. So a boulder can turn into a diamond and then back into a boulder if it goes through 2 magic walls. Now, these magic walls don't last forever, so you've got to be as quick as you can, generally. You only have to get a few boulders turn into diamonds on this level, though. There are diamonds already scattered around this level. Oh, another bonus life there. Hopefully I've got enough here. Well, I have, because it's a long play video, so I know I've completed this level. So yeah, you don't have to do too many there, and the rest of them you can just hoover up from around the existing playing area. So at times I'm going to call the jewels diamonds. The manual calls them jewels, but I tend to call them diamonds, so apologies if I'm using 2 different terms here. But yes, the manual on the back of the box gives no explanation as to why Rockford is now in space either. Just thought I'd mention that. But we have a change in the names of the enemies, I suppose you'd call them here. The butterflies from the original game, which drop diamonds when they explode, are now called eyes. And the fireflies from the original game are now called mouths. And they don't drop diamonds when they explode. And to be honest though, I often got confused between what are butterflies and fireflies in the original game anyway, and although they don't look as good here, there is at least some clear distinction between them, and we'll see them on later levels. Also we'll see on later levels, and used a lot, is the amoebas that grow across the screen until they are trapped or get too large, and they're now called monoliths. And that's like a living, growing organism that if you manage to trap between boulders and the wall or whatever, they will turn to diamonds when it can't grow anymore. But if it grows to over 50% in size of the playing area, then it will turn into boulders, and then you're in a world of trouble. Like I am here. I thought I'd got myself trapped, but Rockford digs his way out. A quick bit of skill moving around there, and we're safe again. So there's 16 levels in total, with a bonus level after every 4, meaning 20 levels in total, just like the original Boulder Dash. So after Cave D here, we will have a bonus level. and this one's called Reunion 1, Let the Mouths and the Eyes Meet. Well, actually, what you want to do is get the eyes and the monolith, which was called amoeba in the original game, to meet and produce you diamonds, because as soon as any of the mouths, the eyes touch the amoeba, they will explode instantly, although it won't kill you. But the eyes, of course, when they explode, will drop diamonds. So clear a nice bit of space here. Don't take too long, because the amoebas, or the monolith, will start rapidly growing in size at some point and just rapidly expand, not leaving you much time. So be quick here. But this is what I love about this is where I really love Boulder Dash, just the utter chaos and carnage that can happen on the screen. And this is the joy of Boulder Dash. Whether you like the sequel or not, there are levels like this that are great fun to play, because of the mass carnage and chaos that's occurring. I love it, and I loved it as a kid. I'm a big fan of Boulder Dash, but I'm a big fan of the original Boulder Dash game, not so much the sequel here. I did enjoy it to an extent, but the levels are at times, actually quite a lot of the levels are really quite poorly designed. In fact, actually, even the Wikipedia article for this game states that for the Commodore and Atari versions, that this sequel got panned in the press for like poorly designed levels, and the levels are identical on all the versions as far as I know, but at least the Amstrad version has the same level layout and design pretty much as the Commodore 64 version. Maybe a few boulders out of place or missing or added. And this is the bonus level, so just drop the boulder through the magic wall there, it turns into a diamond, and then to wait for the monolith, aka amoeba, to grow to a ridiculous size and turn into diamonds. And don't worry, if you fail this level, you don't lose a life, but you don't gain a bonus life, so this is a chance to get you an extra life. And look how quickly it can suddenly grow, guys. There we go. We don't need to collect every diamond here. There we go. Good stuff. So, on to Cave E, which is called Maze 1. One false step and the mouse are after you, says the manual. Now this isn't actually too hard really, you just got to take your time. There are enough diamonds to collect here without disturbing any of the mouths. And you can actually work your way around this area without releasing any of the mouths that are sort of stuck in the plain area there. And of course, remember, the mouths don't drop any diamonds if they get squished by a boulder or explode. So just carefully work your way around here, just picking off the diamonds one by one. Easy, pretty easy stuff actually. Just got to be very careful not to make one false move or misstep. Now, programmers of the game. Who made the game? Well, the title screen lists it as being done by Stefan Strand, but I can't find anything about him. Literally nothing else by him. Sadly, according to online listings, the original game was converted by Delali Software Limited, and this sequel looks like it uses all the same code and pretty much the graphics as well, mostly, of the original game. But it looks like the graphic tiles and sprites have had a bit of a swap and a bit of a tweak to tie in with the space theme, but that's it really. So it looks like just like the graphics have been changed, and then a level designer used to basically churn out a very quick, cheap and dirty new Boulder Dash game, which doesn't really add anything new at all. And as I mentioned, yes, the even in the Wikipedia article, as I said earlier, it was noted that, like, even on the Commodore 64 and Atari, that it was reviewers thought that the level designs were rather poor, and we will come across some poorly designed levels later on, guys, where it is pure chance and luck to get through, or they've placed like an exit in a really stupid place where a boulder will drop and block it if you're not careful. Worst of all, there's an exit on one of the levels where you're having to destroy lots of eyes, as they're called, which drop diamonds, and if you destroy one of them right near the exit and explodes over the exit, it will actually destroy the actual exit and you can never exit the level. Yay! Great game design. We'll come on to that later. But yeah, I mentioned Delali Software as the possible makers of this game. Certainly they have been listed as doing the original Boulder Dash. But I had a little dig around about Delali Software, and according to Companies House, which is, if you're outside the UK, it's basically a website that lists every active company in the UK, and if they've done their accounts and filed them and all that kind of stuff. Oh, sorry, just a quick race here. This is actually a very, very easy level. Just got to quickly move around the monolith or amoebas there, and there's enough diamonds to collect here without having to trap the amoeba monolith. And you can escape up here. That's a very, very easy level. But yes, I did some digging on Delali Software, and according to Companies House, they still exist today. I can't actually find an actual website for them, apart from www.touchfinder.co.uk, which is listed as with the same address and company details, and it appears to be a web design and hosting company. But it looks like the site hasn't been updated in many years, but it's there, and then it still exists, and the company still exists. So it's nice to come across a company from back in the day that still exists right now and are active, even if they're not actively producing games or whatever. Now this is Cave H with the name Easy, apparently. The manual says 3 levels of magic walls and only 15 jewels to make. Sounds easy, but it isn't. So basically clear the space at the bottom here. You're going to have 3 magic walls. And you can send these through first. And then the basically the top boulders above the top magic wall, you can send them through all 3 walls, because they will turn to a diamond, to a boulder, and then back to a diamond, and clip them right at the bottom of the playing area. So don't worry too much about the boulders on this section here. As you can see, as one drops through as a diamond, it turns into a boulder on the next one. Don't worry too much about that. There's enough to get. I should mention as well, on the loading screen prior to the loading picture, there was a text appeared that said "Disc conversion by Lee Davidson," but I can't find anything about him at all. So he's a mystery, but I don't think he's the programmer of the game. I think he probably just converted the tape version to disc, and that was literally it. So there we go. As we hoover up here, actually no, I was going to talk about the other version, so I'll save that for a bit. And there's the exit, which this is the exit I was talking about. It's very easy to drop a boulder on and get stuck and not be able to get to the exit, so watch out for that. And here's the second bonus stage. Not too hard, this one. Lots of evil mouths around, but if you just take your time, you can navigate around them. Some of them will get blown up as well. 99 diamonds to get, and plenty to pick up. Just take your time. Now remember, Rockford can balance like boulders and diamonds on his head, as long as they don't literally fall on his head. So you can do tricks like that. And we can hoover up a few more diamonds there to rack up our score. Maybe get ourselves an extra bonus life from the bonus score. But we've got loads of lives left now here. So Cave I, the cave-in. Lots of jewels, but watch out. Again, this is a fairly straightforward level, not too hard to do. Actually, it's probably one of the easier levels. So let's talk about other versions of Boulder Dash 3. So the Commodore 64, probably the lead version of this game. It's almost monochrome, and it was designed to be because of the what did they call it now? I've just literally forgotten the name. Metal Graphic, wasn't it? Yeah, Metal Graphic, trademark, TM, Metal Graphic, a monochrome look. It's lots of shades of browns and greys. It's quite muddy, but it's subtly shaded, to be fair, and it's not too bad graphics wise. I prefer like bright and colourful personally, but it actually works quite well. So yeah, it's also, although it's shaded in greys and muddy browns, it's actually pretty decent, and definitely decent sound effects and music from the pretty awesome SID chip. It also scrolls and moves the smoothest, and is arguably the best version. Now the Speccy version, I would say, is behind the Commodore 64 and the Amstrad version. In terms of graphics, firstly, although they are clean and not particularly messy, it doesn't look as nice. I don't think the sprites look as nice, obviously only in a few colours. Worst of all though is the scrolling, which is really slow and laggy to the point it's really noticeable and impacts on the gameplay. Now, I haven't mentioned about the Amstrad scrolling here, which it isn't great, but it just about works enough not to impact on your movement and swift movement throughout the level. On the Speccy version, you really sometimes have to sort of stop and wait for the scrolling to catch up. It's only just behind the Amstrad version, but it's enough to be a problem. So sadly, I think probably the Speccy version is the worst out of the three of the Amstrad and the Commodore 64. But also there's the Atari 8-bit version, and that's pretty much identical to the Commodore 64 version. So the Commodore and Atari versions are probably best, Amstrad second, Speccy after that. I think there was also versions for the MSX computer, and there may be some weird random American computers this might have appeared on, but I've not seen them or played them, sadly. Okay, Cave J here. It's called The Guards. You'll have to get rid of the guards to get the jewels. This one's a little bit of a tough one to work out initially, but once you figured it out, it shouldn't give you too much trouble. The problem with Boulder Dash and Boulder Dash 3 specifically is that a lot of this is going to take a lot of working out because of the puzzling element involved, and a lot of trial and error. And will you have enough lives to do it? Thankfully though, there is a level skip on the title screen. I think you can skip from Cave A to or start from Cave E. I think it's then Cave I or L. No, Cave I, of course, sorry. Or you can start on Cave M. So you can skip forward a few levels and practice them and work them out, and then see if you can get through all the caves from Cave A to Cave P. Because there's 16 levels in total, with a bonus level after every 4, meaning there's 20 levels in total, just like the original Boulder Dash. And there we go, that one's done. Once you figure out the route to do and what to do, that one's not too hard, as are a lot of the levels. This one's called Good Luck in the manual, Cave K. And yikes, this is ridiculously hard, guys. So you have to do that first and get that mouth to blow the wall open there so the monoliths and amoebas can escape. But then you have to build up this rock thing there. Now you mustn't dig below where the rocks are falling. You've got to build them across here, and you'll see what I'm doing here. What we're trying to do is like block in the amoeba or monolith as in this game. Oh my god, and it is really, really hard to do, because remember, you can't let the monolith get too large in size, otherwise it won't turn into diamonds, it will turn into boulders. So what we're doing here is just trying to trap it in with boulders, and as you can see there now, guys, that's it pretty much covered on that bottom left corner. Now we've got to do this right hand side, but it's already quite large in size. We left it on the left there, so we're going to have to try and tighten things up as close as possible on this side. And this is really tough to work out. I mean, I think I'm going to have to be honest here and say that I had to have a look at there's a long play video of the Commodore 64 version. I really struggled with this level, and maybe a couple of others too. Oh gosh, it's going to escape there. Ooh, that was lucky. Now hopefully that should turn into diamonds. Got to get rid of this mouth. Gives a bit of an easier time of things. So yeah, there's a Commodore 64 long play, and I had to sort of refer to that and see how they did it. That looks like it's pretty much trapped in there. And trust me guys, that was really tough to work out, and you have to be very specific. I don't think there's any other way of doing that, and you have to be very specific of what where you dig and what rocks drop and all that kind of stuff. Just need to be able to get in here. Yes, we can. There we go. And even like now, like working out how to get into the thing you've just enclosed off is quite difficult. This level was stupidly hard, and was needlessly so. Poor level design, basically. I mean, I feel the accomplishment and achievement of beating this level, but I feel exhausted after working that out. I love my Boulder Dash, but this level was not fun at all in the slightest. I like being able to take different routes and ways of like beating a level, but I pretty much only found that one way of doing it, and that's a shame. It means that I kind of don't want to come back to this game, certainly this level anyway. Just want to collect a few more diamonds on the way, and I just escape in time as well. Yikes. Oh god, this is, I think, probably the worst level of them all. This relies on pure luck, because we've got to trap this monolith in very quickly. So what I'm doing here is waiting here, because we've got all the rocks at the bottom there. We've got some rocks towards the right to block him in. Now I'm waiting for the monolith to just go just under me. There we go. And then move on. And this relies just on pure luck, because it's random how the monolith moves. Like, as quick as I can, we're going to just try and trap it in. It's so dangerous at all the close rocks so close to you. I think we're near enough done it there. And I'm going to have to be completely honest with you guys, this is the one level where I had to use snapshots to get through it. I used 2 snapshot reloads during this level. One when I was just stood there earlier waiting for him to move under me, because if he didn't move under me quick enough, it would often start spreading to the left really quickly, and I won't have time to trap him in. And look, I've got to get there very quickly. Oh no, the rocks drop down. So, but I can use myself to block him in, and I think I'll just do it here. This level was insanely hard. Really hard. And now we've got to try and collect these diamonds without getting crushed, and then escape from all this. I've got enough. Oh, thankfully I can get out. I'm not even going to try and bother hoovering up extra diamonds for getting score to get towards bonus lives and stuff. That's enough. Just get the hell out of there. That level was a nightmare and appalling level design. Really bad. Because that is the one level that relies on just being lucky, essentially, and hoping the monolith moves the way you need it. Here's the bonus level. Actually, this is really easy, this one. Just wait for the mouse to move around, and then hoover up the rest of the diamonds and jewels. Always a tight time limit on these bonus levels, but there we go. Done. Sorted. Cave M. 4 more caves to go and then we're done. This one's called Reunion 2. Once again, let the mouths meet the eyes. Or in this case, let them meet the amoeba, which is in the middle of the plain area. Sorry, the monolith, as it's been renamed. I think I'll just keep calling it the amoeba because it just makes more sense. Monolith is a stupid name. So clear out a nice space at the bottom here, but don't take too long because the amoeba might start growing rapidly in size soon. The amoeba is just above our heads and we'll come to it in just a sec. There it is. Only 2 little bits at the moment. Let's unleash it and let's get these eyes released and touching the amoeba. I'll be very careful. And then watch the chaos and carnage ensue here. You're going to need to release both sets of the eyes there, I think, for enough diamonds. Here they come. There's one. And as they touch the amoeba, boom! Bear in mind as well, it actually destroys a bit of the amoeba as well at the same time. You could be in a situation where you've been a bit premature, an eye's blown up and actually blown up all of the amoeba that's left, and there's no more amoeba to grow. So watch out for that. And now it's going to be a bit of a waiting game. Maybe collect a few diamonds here quick. Maybe the other amoeba are trapped. Oh no, no, I think they're pretty much all died. Sorry, all the other eyes, sorry. So we're going to hoover up these diamonds quickly and then we're going to release the other eyes on the right hand side of the screen. But that amoeba is getting very, very big, and I think our exit on the level may be in the top left. There we go. There's not much space left at the bottom there for diamonds. Just going to position ourselves safe there, just for maybe a few seconds. I'm expecting a cascade of diamonds. Ah, here they come. Loads of diamonds. Actually, I think the exit may be to the right here. Let's see. Ooh! Very, very, very nearly screwed up there. Yeah, watch out there. It's so easy to die on Boulder Dash. You're not expecting like one of the enemies to be there or coming towards you. It's a very frustrating game at times, and it's made even more frustrating by some of the really poor and difficult level design here, which I've been banging on about, but it really bothers me that it's ruined the sequel. They've not really play tested it well enough. So Cave N, Liberator, this is called. The manual says free the eyes and make them become jewels. Oh god, this is the one where the exit's in the bottom right corner of the screen. Now there was some amoeba in the top left there, which unfortunately it's now died because there was not enough room for it to expand. We're going to ignore that because it's covered by a load of evil mouths which don't turn into diamonds. Instead we're going to drop boulders on these eyes and get the diamonds that way. We'll have an easier time of it. What you don't want to do is destroy any eyes in the really far bottom right corner of the screen because the exit is there, and as I mentioned earlier in the review, if you blow up one of the eyes right near the exit and it blows up on the exit, it will destroy the exit and you cannot escape the level. Now one way would be to blow through all these walls with rocks like there, and sometimes you can't stop the chain reaction of diamonds dropping and explosions happening and destroying eyes on the far right of the screen, right on the edge, and you end up destroying the exit. That's happened so many times to me, it's really, really annoying. But it's hard to explain because you're not really going to get to see it, because obviously I'm doing this to beat the game and beat the level, so you won't see it happen in this playthrough, but just going to have to trust me on that. Again, I'm just another example of poor level design. However, this level is still kind of fun. There's like loads and loads of eyes here. It's an extremely tough and dangerous level. Ah, being chased. Oh, nice bit of skill there from me. Hurrah! So there's the mouse, the top left there. There was some amoeba in the middle of them all, which is now turned to rock, sadly. And the exit will be there in the bottom right. We just need about 8 more diamonds. Maybe we can risk it going around there. Still loads of the eyes floating about though, sadly. So maybe we'll just squash one more here. We might take a few more with it. And now we should have enough diamonds. It's so easy to be caught out by an unexpected eye. Hopefully there's none coming around it. No! I took the risk, but it paid off. And we can get to the exit and just get the hell out of that level. Right, the penultimate level, Cave O, and this one's called Perfect. Magic walls combined with monoliths is just perfect. When the magic begins, all the monoliths will transform. Oh boy, this was another one that took a lot of working out. A lot of practice and testing beforehand. And playing over and over and over again. So we want to trap the monolith and the amoeba, which is at the bottom of the screen. There it is, you can see it poking up now. We want to trap it here and don't let it get too big. So I'm just kind of building a little trap for it. There we go. But also we've got to clear enough space here to drop rocks through to turn them into diamonds, because we need 95 diamonds. And maybe there won't be enough from the trapped monolith to do it. So leaving some gaps underneath the wall, which when a rock drops in it will turn into a magic wall like so. And there we go, and we can start doing that. Start getting diamonds coming through here. And then go and deal with the monolith that's spreading at the bottom of the screen, probably to the left now, and get that trapped. But with these rocks from the top here and diamonds dropping, that will help fill in the gaps of blocking in the amoeba and the monolith below. So that's why I'm doing this here. Again, this took a lot of working out. It's a very, very, very tough level. Obviously I'm making it look easier than it is, but trust me, it's not. Oh my god. It's one of these long play videos, guys, where I got very cross playing it at times. Not quite had any rage quits or desk slamming or anything like that. There you go, look, the rocks there have trapped, and the diamonds have trapped the amoeba there. And I nearly screwed up there. I just managed to resurrect it there and use myself as a block. That should be enough to block in the amoeba and monolith there, and it won't get to too large in size that it will turn into boulders rather than diamonds. And there we go. Oof. That should be enough now. Yep, we need 95 diamonds on 71, 81. Maybe hoover up these, give ourselves a bit of... There we go. Done. Just going to get that. I don't care about collecting the rest of those diamonds for high score. I'm getting the hell out of there, guys. And here we go, guys. This is the last cave. And we get a bonus cave after this one, which is a bonus level. And this one's called The Frontier. And the manual tells us this last one you'll have to figure out for yourself. So what we do here, guys, is hoover up as many of the diamonds as possible at the top of the screen. And then we've got a magic wall below us. You don't know it's a magic wall until something drops in it, or if you know already. But I assumed there would be when I first played this level. And we can drop boulders and even diamonds through there to destroy some of those mouths. And below the mouths is another section with a load of like random diamonds and jewels scattered about. So get as many of them as you can here. And then we're going to start dropping rocks or boulders and maybe a few diamonds down onto the heads of those evil mouths. Don't trap yourself in there. There's only a slight little exit to the right there to get down to the bottom section. So we're going to drop a few of them through now. One thing I haven't really mentioned here actually, guys, is the control of your character Rockford. I don't like the controls in this very much, and I find it's often the cause of frustration and many of an unfair death in the game. It feels like there's like a little bit of lag, maybe like a half a second or a quarter second. So if you push right, for example, it takes maybe a quarter or half a second for him to actually start moving right, and you'll continue moving right after that and just run around quite nicely. But it's that slight delay in the controls which makes things unnecessarily tough. That was present in the original, and it's present here because they've just reused exactly the same code and just done a quick tile swap on the graphics, and just use a level designer to get these levels churned out quick and a new sequel turned out quick. So big negative points still for me regarding the controls, and I think that's, aside from maybe the poor level design, that's the main gripe I have with Boulder Dash on the Amstrad. I'm not really quite sure how it feels on the Commodore 64 version. Haven't really played it in a long time. I think it did feel a bit more intuitive and smoother and responsive. There you go, enough diamonds there. Don't block the route at the exit in the bottom right corner there with boulders. And there we go. Essentially, guys, that is now Boulder Dash completed, apart from this bonus cave. Now you can be pretty smart here and just do like a right down on your joystick. Move and do this really quickly. But actually you can just take your time here like I have to an extent. Get the diamonds through the magic wall. And that's it. That is Boulder Dash 3 completed. And then it loops around to Cave A, but on difficulty level 2. I'm not quite sure what the difficulty does. I think it just decreases the time limit, which is already ridiculously tight on most levels. So there we go. And that's where we'll leave things there, guys. I'm going to give this as a review score, final review score, 6.5 out of 10. It drops a load of points for some of the really poor and frustrating level design. Otherwise, I love Boulder Dash, especially the original. But there we go. So I hope you enjoyed that, guys. Please like, subscribe and all that kind of stuff. Goodbye. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, please click a like below, leave a comment, and also subscribe if you haven't already. And over that way, there's another video for you to check out. Zypho, out.